everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to quickly explain some differences between black tea and green tea and talk a little bit about Japanese green tea in particular. So, to start off with, what is the difference between black tea and green tea? Well, Japanese green tea, whether it's sencha or gyokuro or matcha, is usually not oxidized. In other words, left out for oxygen to interact once the leaves have been picked. Whereas black tea is fully oxidized. And that gives the texture and the actual coloring of black tea. Now, black tea, famous black teas are Assam from India, Ceylon tea from Sri Lanka, blended tea, Earl Grey, English breakfast, etc. And many people in the West are familiar with black tea. But green tea now is getting a little bit popular, but green tea is still a little bit of a mystery. So hopefully in this video, I will introduce you to some of the concepts of Japanese green tea. I will talk a little bit about the varietals. I will talk a little bit about how to actually make the tea, and then I'll give you some recommendations. So, let's begin. First difference is color, like I said before. Here we go. This is black tea. These are two styles of green tea. Now, the varietals of green tea are numerous, but the common types of green tea is what they call sencha, gyokuro, and matcha. Now, interestingly, black tea and green tea, same leaf. It's just the processing that makes it different, okay? The oxidization, whether it's dried or pan-fried, how long it's kept out in the sun, whether it's shaded, all these things go into creating the different styles of tea. But the actual leaf itself, black tea and green tea, are the same. Now, you'll notice with this black tea here, can you see it's like a powdery substance, yes? So the tea, the leaves are chopped, grinded into a powder form. A little bit like a matcha, actually. Whereas things like sencha and Japanese gyokuro, you can still see a little bit of the stem. Yes? So here, if you look at this, you can see that stem there. That's one difference. The other difference is the taste. Black tea tends to be more roasty taste, more almondy, more creamy caramel style, whereas green tea tends to be more grassy, more umami. Umami is a Japanese word, kind of translating into savory, a little bit bitter, nigami, and a little bit astringent, which is shibumi. And an interesting aspect is that black tea, usually, not always, but usually we add a little bit of milk, a little bit of sugar, and we enjoy it. Whereas green tea, no milk, no sugar. You drink it as it is, just with hot water. Other small interesting aspect is that in Japan, sencha is the most popular green tea, not matcha. I know in the West, matcha is the most popular, but in Japan, sencha is the most popular. And sencha has two styles of sencha. One is fukamushi, one is asumushi. This is just how it's processed. Asumushi is steamed for less time, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, whereas fukamushi is steamed for maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes. This creates a different texture, different flavor, and also the cookie, the stem of the leaf is a little bit shorter for fukamushi and a little bit longer for asumushi. Fukamushi is predominantly found in Shizuoka, and out of the varietals, probably Yabukita is probably the most popular, whereas asumushi can be found in Uji, and maybe the most popular one there is Ujicha. Also in Chiran, which is in Kagoshima, to the west of Tokyo, both Asamushi and Fukumushi can be found. Chiran, the varietals like Sai Midori, for example, are very popular. Yame cha, which is also in Kyushu Island, in the north, is a very beautiful style of tea. Towards Tokyo, we have what's called Sayama, Sayama cha, Sayama Midori, and this leaf is also very strong and a very beautiful flavor to it. Different areas of Japan are known for different flavors and also for coloring. For example, uji-cha has a beautiful color to it and a nice aroma, whereas taste, people say, Sayama is a stronger taste. But these things are up to you. So try as many Japanese green teas as you can and see which one suits you the best. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the teapot. That's another difference. For Japanese teapots, this is the most popular. It's called Kyushu. Now, I mentioned Kyushu, as in the island where some great teas are found. This is a Kyushu. Have a look at that. Can you see where the handle is? It's here. You'll notice that there is a filter. So you put the leaves in here. This is not for tea bags. You put the leaves in here and you put the water in and you pour like this. Okay, so for example, if this is the teacup, this way, this way. This is a tokoname, which is from Aichi Prefecture, and it's a very, very beautiful, easy to use kyushu, or Japanese teapot with a filter. But there are other teapots. For example, this is a hohin. Now a hohin looks like this. Notice, no filter. This has some little perforations, so hopefully to stop the stems of the tea from pouring into the water, into the cup, but no filter whatsoever. Another style of hohin is this one here. This is from Kyushu Island, from Arita. And here we have a small filter. Can you see here? This is very, very beautiful Arita pottery. Another example is here. This is for gyokuro. It's more concentrated, it's smaller, and again, a small filter. Now, look at the spout for this hohin. And look at the spout for this hohin. Can you see very similar? But the spout for this hohin is a little bit different. That's because this hohin is a little bit of a hybrid. And it's a hybrid with another Japanese teapot called a shibori dashi. And shibori dashi looks like this. A little bit like a space saucer. Can you see no filter? Just beautiful beautiful pottery. You put the tea leaves in here, you put the water, and you pour like this. Usually this is for gyokuro or really high quality tea, and the temperature, your water temperature is around 60, 50, 60, 70, no more than 70, because it's hard to hold. Plus, good tea, gyokuro, high grade sencha, lower temperature is best. The last teapot I want to show you is this one. And this Looks a little bit like an English teapot, but it's not. It's called a number teki, or a tetsumin. Now, tetsu meaning iron, kettle. And this kettle, we usually use a fukusha, which is this cloth. And we pour like this. We don't put any tea into this one. This is a pure kettle for hot water. And we use this to mix into a chawan or a tea bowl like this. And this is used to make matcha. And matcha in the West, I know, is very, very popular. But let me show you the powdered form. This is matcha, which is another very famous style of Japanese tea. And look at that. Beautiful fine green powder. The best matcha, I think, comes from Uji, which is in Kyoto. However, Aichi also produce some great matcha. So those are the different styles of green tea. In my next video, we're going to make some green tea. Take care for now. Bye bye.